true hotel horror story. It was meant to be a simple stopover, just one night in a roadside hotel off the interstate. The kind of place that promises clean sheets, a locked door, and little else. For Daniel, a traveling salesman who had spent the better part of the week living out of his suitcase, the glowing neon sign felt like a small mercy at midnight. The lobby was quiet, the clerk half asleep, and the key card slid across the counter with barely a word exchanged. Room 214. Second floor. He dragged his bag down a long carpeted hallway that smelled faintly of bleach and something metallic, a scent he couldn't place. The door clicked open with ease, and at first glance, it was ordinary. A bed tucked tight beneath heavy blankets, a desk with a bolted lamp, curtains drawn against the night. He dropped his bag, let out a sigh, and for the first time that week, thought he might actually rest. But as the hours passed, the room felt wrong. At 1:37 a.m., Daniel woke to the sound of water running. He lay still, listening. The bathroom door was closed, light leaking beneath the crack, a soft hiss of the shower filling the silence. He hadn't turned it on. He sat up slowly, his pulse climbing, and whispered a tentative, "Hello?" The water shut off immediately. The silence that followed was suffocating. He forced himself out of bed, feet pressing against the thin carpet, and pushed the bathroom door open with a trembling hand. The shower curtain was drawn. He yanked it back empty. A drain still swirled with steam, but no one was there. Trying to steady himself, he returned to bed, convincing his mind it had been a trick of old pipes or faulty wiring. But sleep never came. At 3:14 a.m., the phone on the nightstand rang, its shrill tone cutting through the darkness. Daniel answered, voice unsteady. On the other end, silence stretched long enough to make his skin crawl. Then, faintly, a whisper, "Why are you in my room?" The line went dead. He dropped the receiver, heart pounding, and stared at the door, half expecting it to swing open. By morning, sunlight spilled through the heavy curtains, and the room looked normal again. Too normal, like nothing had happened. He packed quickly, eager to leave, but as he zipped his suitcase, something caught his eye. Beneath the bed frame, almost hidden, was a sliver of torn fabric. He crouched down and pulled it free, a piece of a hotel uniform, stained dark along the edges. His hands shook as he tucked it back, deciding he didn't want to know more. At checkout, he slid the key card across the counter, avoiding the clerk's eyes, desperate for the outside air. But before he could leave, the clerk spoke. "How was your stay in room 214? Daniel forced a weak smile, nodding once. The clerk tilted their heads slightly, frowning. "That's strange," they said softly. "That room hasn't been booked in months."